Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and yesterday we got some brand new reporting that is utterly embarrassing for Donald Trump. So we all know that Donald Trump is a man baby, right? Like his antics throughout his entire presidency and his entire life for that matter are so childish, and it reminds me of a 4-year-old toddler. Well, this brand new story from the Rolling Stones just further proves that. I am not joking when I say this, but we have just learned that while president, Donald Trump tried to pressure Disney into censoring Jimmy Kimmel. Yes, Jimmy Kimmel, the famous late-night comedian who in the past has destroyed Donald Trump, and clearly that got under Trump's skin. Because according to two former Trump administration officials, Donald Trump was so upset by Kimmel's comedic jabs that he directed his White House staff to call up one of Disney's top executives in Washington, D.C. to complain and demand action. Yes, Donald Trump was so upset by Jimmy Kimmel's jokes that he had his team call up Disney and ask for him to be censored. I mean, do you all remember how Donald Trump tried and failed to project himself as a strong leader? Yeah, it's safe to say that that image he tried to create went out the window a long time ago. I mean, seriously, you're the president of the United States and you can't take some jokes from late night comedians? Like, the president probably receives more criticism than anybody in this country. As president, you're meant to be able to take criticism from anybody. But of course, with Donald Trump, that's just simply not the case. His fragile ego can't take it. But regardless, in at least 2 separate phone calls that occurred around the time Trump was finishing his first year in office, the White House conveyed the severity of his fury with Kimmel to Disney. This ex-Trump official went on to say that Trump's staff mentioned that the leader of the free world wanted the billion-dollar company to rein in the Trump-trashing ABC host. And this might be the funniest part of the article, but Trump felt that Kimmel had, in the characterization of one former senior administration official, had been very dishonest and doing things that Trump would have once sued over. I mean, seriously, Trump was so offended by these jokes that he mentioned suing Jimmy Kimmel. Now, keep in mind, while this was going on, the United States had plenty of challenges to deal with, such as North Korea creating nuclear weapons, or Russia's policy in Europe, or even domestic issues we had here in the United States. But instead of focusing on those very significant issues, Donald Trump was having his team call up Disney to complain about jokes. But anyway, this former official went on to confirm that a call was made, saying at least one call was made to Disney that I know of. They went on to say, I do not know who, but it happened. Nobody thought it was going to change anything, but Donald Trump was so focused on it that we had to do something. It was doing something mostly to say to Trump, hey, we did this. I mean, there you go again. Donald Trump's fragile ego is on display. While Trump was president, his team basically had to coddle him. He was probably sitting there in the Oval Office demanding that his team place a phone call to the big bad comedian for him to stop making jokes about him. The fact that a call was made and one of these officials confirmed that a call was made is so beyond embarrassing for this country. We quite literally had a child in office who was more focused on protecting his ego as opposed to helping the country. Now, Rolling Stone was actually able to identify one target of Trump's pressure campaign, and that person was Richard Bates, a former top Disney lobbyist. Now, thankfully, the effort ultimately failed and Donald Trump didn't get Disney to censor Jimmy Kimmel or have him stop making jokes about him. But as the Rolling Stone points out, this marks yet another moment in which Trump showed an eagerness to wield the immense powers of his office for personal gain and highly petty reasons. And of course, there are plenty of examples of Trump and his team using the power of the office for personal gain. I mean, just remember, when Donald Trump would travel, he would frequently have the Secret Service stay in Trump hotels, basically making the Trump family money on American taxpayers' dime. Oh, and of course, don't forget the $2 billion that the Saudis gave Jared Kushner after he left the White House. I mean, you want to talk about using the office for personal gain? Donald Trump is the perfect example of that. But regardless, Donald Trump is clearly a petty narcissist. He is the president of the United States and he can't take a couple of jokes, and Jimmy Kimmel, a comedian, gets under his skin. Oh, and by the way, all of those Republicans who claim that Democrats are trying to silence their freedom of speech, what do you think about this story? Because Donald Trump was trying to use the power of the presidency to silence the jokes of a comedian. So I can't wait to see the Republican outrage about this story. Regardless, Donald Trump is a child and he clearly couldn't take any amount of criticism. Anyway, folks, that's gonna wrap up the video for today. I really hope you enjoyed. I just really had to talk about this incredibly petty story. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate if you did all of those things. And once again, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you folks soon.